launching rockets into space with drones, robots for home and robots for space exploration, a smart carpet from MIT, new robot grabs, and the latest robots and other news from the world of science and high technology in today's One Issue. Engineers at the Toyota Research Institute have improved their home robot assistants, teaching them for the first time in the world to recognize transparent and mirrored surfaces and objects, and not to confuse them with their reflection, as well as reacting to them correctly in different circumstances. The Toyota robots correctly understand the context of a situation and are able to generalize their experience to similar objects and situations. This is a necessary skill for home robots, since every home is furnished individually and prescribed algorithms of actions that may not help the robot understand each specific situation they find themselves in. In order to solve the problems of identifying an object and its reflection, the company's engineers have developed a new training method that allows robots to perceive in three-dimensional geometry of the scene, as well as detecting objects and surfaces. This approach also eliminates the need for time-consuming and expensive, impractical data collection or labeling. Maston Space Systems, a company participating in NASA's Break the Ice lunar water program, unveiled its new lunar rover. The robotic rover, Rocket M, weighs just over a ton and can travel at 3.5 kilometers per hour. But most importantly, it will be able to mine up to 100 kilograms of ice per day using rocket pulses to extract it. The rover will be delivered to the moon by a landing module, which also acts as an auxiliary station. After descending to the surface, the robot will begin circling a network of predetermined points on the surface of the satellite, placing a metal sealing dome on each. It will then use the pulses of its rocket engine to heat and crush the lunar surface to a depth of up to 2 meters. The crushed ore will be sucked inside the rover, pass through a magnetic separator, and into a pneumatic cyclone chamber, where the heavier particles will begin to rotate. The remaining ice grain will pass through an electrostatic sorter, a second cyclone chamber, and then through cold plates to trap water, eventually turning into purified vapor. The entire process will take around 5 to 10 minutes. The Rocket M will also be able to extract more than 400 tons of water per year for NASA's lunar missions. Space Perspective has opened reservations for seats on its Neptune spacecraft, which will ascend into the stratosphere in a hot air balloon. The sealed capsule with 8 tourists and a pilot will ascend to an altitude of 30 kilometers. Neptune will ascend without overloads, with a speed of 19 kilometers per hour, and the duration of the entire flight will be around 6 hours. The size of the balloon which will lift the capsule is comparable to that of a soccer stadium, and as a result, for a cool $125,000, you too can be a passenger and enjoy the view of Earth against the darkness of outer space, which is the closest we can get at this point to space perspective from the view of an astronaut. Commercial flights of Neptune should begin by the end of 2024. Boston Dynamics continues to work with NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory to prepare Spot the Robot for alien missions. In a new video, the company showed how the robot explores underground caves without any prior information. Ramax has unveiled a Ramax Rad rocket launching drone. The developers assured that their powerful octocopter with a streamlined body and guidance stabilizers will be able to accelerate with a missile up to 500 kilometers per hour and reach altitudes of 5,000 meters. The drone can carry 1 to 2 small microsatellite missiles on its own, or become a part of a swarm of rad drones working together to carry larger missiles. What do you think about drone rocket launches? Cool or crazy? Let us know down in the comments. Volocopter has unveiled its Volo drone, a heavyweight drone capable of carrying loads up to 200 kilograms over a distance of 40 kilometers. The electric drone, with 18 rotors and 9 batteries, is designed for logistics, construction, and agriculture. It became a cargo modification of the Volo City, the company's urban air taxi project. IBM's autonomous Mayflower Trimaran failed to cross the Atlantic Ocean on its first attempt. The craft had to return back to Plymouth because of technical problems, having crossed only a tenth of the way, or about 563 kilometers. First off, the ship controlled by the AI Captain's Intelligence System reported a minor technical problem and then started moving twice as slowly as usual. After that, it was decided to return to the nearest dock. The sea drone is now awaiting repair. We told you recently about this in the episode you can find up in the hint. HMI Lab at Kanazawa University in Japan unveiled a new gripper design capable of handling objects with a flat surface. Engineers experimented with different finger designs and different grip modes to train the robotic arm to successfully grasp, lift, and move any thin or flat object. Researchers at MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory have developed a smart carpet capable of tracking human actions. The device's tactile sensors are capable of evaluating people's postures without using visual images from cameras. It's enough for a person to stand or sit on the carpet and perform an action, and the neural network with deep learning determines what exactly the person did. The engineers are confident that their invention will be useful for medical purposes, smart home systems, and computer games to track the physical activity of users. The relatively inexpensive technology is based on pressure-sensitive film and conductive filaments with 9,000 sensors, each one converting human pressure into an electronic signal that can be read as data. SoftBank Robotics in Europe is cutting 40% of its staff of 330 people. This is because the company's two most famous robots, Now and Pepper, failed to make a profit for the company. Although the company managed to sell 27,000 Now and Pepper robots, most of which went to Japan, SoftBank Robotics Europe has lost about $120 million over the past 3 years. The German company Rheinmetall showed its new Mission Master XT ground robot. The machine is to support military missions in extreme environments. It can move over mountains, sand, ice, and even water. The robot is part of a rather large Mission Master family designed to serve as porters, repeaters, wreckers, reconnaissance missions, or provide fire support. The XT features a diesel engine with a range of 750 kilometers without any refueling. Lithium-ion batteries provide an additional 6 hours of silent travel. Payload of the robot is equal to more than 2.2 tons. The machine has a system for adjusting the pressure and tires, which allows it to move on any terrain. At the same time, the robot will remain on the move even if there is a 2-centimeter hole in the wheel. The White Castle company has begun testing Miso Robotics' Flippy robot on a rail in its restaurants. In this way, the company hopes to improve customer service and kitchen operations as well as solving the problem of staffing shortages. The introduction of robots in fast food chains is a global trend that's gaining momentum. Remember that in Moscow, robots already are working in one of the KFC restaurants. American engineers from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute have developed an autonomous 1.5-meter robot for observing the inhabitants of the Twilight Zone, as they call the depth of the ocean from 200 to 1,000 meters. The robot, with 24 hours of battery life, moves almost silently, illuminates the space in front of it with a dimmable LED, and can hover motionless in the water. 2 cameras help the robot identify and track the chosen object of observation with a special algorithm as it moves, while a third 4K color camera records scientific information at the same time. In addition, MesoBot carries many oceanographic sensors that measure the environmental parameters. Robotics Systems Lab has introduced a method for planning, capturing, and manipulation of objects that makes autonomous installation of large-scale rock wall by an unmanned hydraulic excavator possible. The robot independently takes into account the geometry of the stone to properly grip it, and it calculates how to reorient it during placement so that the stone will lay as firmly as possible. Engineers stated that this is how they were able to build a wall of more than 100 stones without the use of bonding mortar, with a success rate of over 82% for proper gripping and positioning. The Robotics and Autonomous Systems group at CSIRO Data 61 from Australia showed their robot Bruce. It's a dynamic hexapod capable of autonomous movement over difficult terrain. The robot went from design to deployment in less than a year, using about 80% of the structural parts printed on a 3D printer. Bruce is designed to move at speeds of up to 1 meter per second on flat surfaces with skillful control. Deep Robotics Yu Yang, a 4-legged robot, is trying his hand at delivering coffee. The company never comments on its new videos, so details are not yet known. All you can see is that the ordering compartment of the robot is not protected from prying eyes, and the robot is so fussy when you walk it down the stairs that half of its coffee might end up out of the cup and into the bag. In the 5 regions of Russia began the introduction of a new system of recognition of faces, silhouettes, and cars from the Ministry of Internal Affairs and the NTech Lab. The multi-object video analytics platform displays video streams in real time, recognizing the silhouettes of passerbys and cars. For example, the color, make, and individual features of a car can be recognized even from a small part of the car or on fuzzy video. The system can track a person's trajectory, count people, and search for people by their silhouettes, and the algorithm's capabilities allow for very high accuracy of silhouette detection. That's it for today, folks. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, share it, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of high tech. How will Boston Dynamics change after the purchase of Hyundai Motor Group? The first flight of a real flying car, a stage of a new space race, a mysterious fire of the newest electric car from Tesla, and new abilities of neural networks, and other high-tech news in today's One Issue. The Hyundai Motor Group recently officially completed its acquisition of a majority stake in Boston Dynamics after receiving regulatory approvals and meeting other requirements. Hyundai now owns 80% of shares purchased for $1.1 billion. The deal is expected to accelerate the development of advanced robotics with advanced mobility, manipulation, and vision capabilities. Together with Boston Dynamics, Hyundai will create a robot value chain from component manufacturing to intelligent logistics solutions. The purchase of the coolest robot manufacturers should give Hyundai a leading position in robotics and transform the company into a provider of intelligent mobility solutions. Remember, Hyundai has already invested heavily in future tech, including autonomous driving, AI, artificial intelligence, urban air mobility, smart factories, and robots. The deal is expected to allow the companies to leverage each other's strengths in manufacturing, logistics, construction, and automation. Also, the new owner promises to support the continued expansion of Boston Dynamics' product line, so we can expect a few new robots from the company. True, it's most likely it will be practical solutions rather than concepts such as Atlas. On the other hand, to continue to improve its humanoid, Boston Dynamics needs substantial funds, which, obviously, will give a new deal. The Aircar flying car flew from one city to another for the first time. The flight took 35 minutes with its creator Stefan Klein at the wheel. The pilot drove the car to a runway of the International Airport in Slovak Nitra. Then it took off and landed at Bratislava Airport and then went to the city center. As a reminder, the Aircar transforms from a car into an airplane at the touch of a button in just 135 seconds. After which, it can take off from a small runway with 2 people on board. The developer claims it can fly nearly 1,000 kilometers at average speeds of 170 kilometers per hour and at altitudes of up to 2.5 kilometers. It took 20 years to develop this car, and its ability to perfectly fly and drive distinguishes Aircar in the market of similar concepts. However, the car does not support vertical takeoff and landing and uses a gasoline engine, which are now dramatically out of fashion. The Eviation Alex luxury electric plane will make its first flight this semester. The number of orders for the electric plane, which seat up to 9 passengers, has already exceeded 150. Eviation recently showed the exterior of the production version of Alice, and now the plane looks more like a business jet, where tail fins are T-shaped and 2 electric motors move from the ends of the wings to the back of the fuselage. The estimated range was increased to 1,046 kilometers, and entry into commercial services is not expected before 2024. Virgin Orbit has placed into orbit 7 satellites, launching a booster rocket from a Boeing 747. This was the company's 3rd successful space mission. The Launcher 1 launch vehicle was launched from a modified Boeing 747 aircraft called Cosmic Girl. It delivered 7 satellites into Earth's orbit, and after accelerating to speeds of over more than 27,000 kilometers per hour, it headed into outer space. Then, the second stage performed a series of rotations for even heat exposure and put into orbit a group of small satellites, placed in the bow. By the way, the head of Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson, will fly into space before his rival in the space tourism market, Jeff Bezos, the owner of Blue Origin. The billionaire space race has led to the fact that the 70-year-old Brandson has suddenly decided to take part in a test flight on July 11th. Remember, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon and Blue Origin, announced that he would personally go into space on his own ship on July 20th. The Unity 22 mission will be the 4th manned flight test from Virgin Galactic. According to Brandson, on his return he announced something very exciting that will give more people a chance to become astronauts, because space belongs to all of us. And Elon Musk showed off the giant Super Heavy rocket. The Booster 3 prototype is ready to test the fuel system under launch loads. The 70-meter stainless steel prototype is not designed to fly. The next Booster 4 prototype will be used for the first orbital launch, which could take place as early as August 1st. Elon Musk also published a photo showing the installed 7th segment of the service tower for the orbital launch complex. It's needed to assemble the entire 120-meter rocket, which will include Super Heavy and Starship. The newest Tesla Model S Plaid burned up in Philadelphia after just 3 days of use. According to the lawyer for the car's owner, the smell of burning appeared in the cabin while driving, and then the driver saw smoke coming from the back of the car. He tried to jump out of the car, but the doors were blocked for several moments. The driver did manage to get out, while the Model S Plaid continued down the street, turning into a fireball. Musk has not yet commented on the situation, but back in 2019 he tweeted that any incident with a Tesla makes all the headlines, while hundreds of cases of gasoline-powered cars that are on fire are simply ignored. Well, such is the price of fame and new tech. Parrot has introduced a new drone for professionals, the Anafi AI, with an almost unlimited communication range. The drone has omnidirectional obstacle avoidance systems, a new camera system, and 4G connectivity. The main camera is now on a 3-axis gimbal with mechanical and electronic stabilization, and has a 48-megapixel sensor that can shoot 4K video at 60 frames per second. It's flanked by a 311-degree obstacle avoidance camera, and thanks to the 4G, the data link between the drone and the pilot becomes reliable, and professionals will be able to control the drone at any distance. The drone weighs in at 900 grams with a maximum flight time of 32 minutes and can accelerate up to 16 meters per second. The core of Parrot's new Free Flight 7 software is open source, and there's an app development kit for both iOS and Android. Hey, you're already here, you're watching the show. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It helps us make more content and cool videos for you. Microsoft and OpenAI introduced a new neural network, which finds bugs in the code and helps you improve it. GitHub Copilot is an AI service trained to work with different framework and programming languages, such as Python, JavaScript, Go, and others. Currently, the algorithm learns from what its corrections are, accepted and rejected by users. So far, the product is free. Engineers at the Melbourne's Royal Melbourne University of Technology have developed a multifunctional antimicrobial wound dressing with fluorescent sensors. The nanosensors analyze all stages of healing, and the material fights pathogens. If an infection begins to develop in the wound, the dressings begin to glow brightly with an ultraviolet light. Facebook wants to help train pet robots. And to that, the company has released Habitat 2.0, an updated robot habitat modeling platform. It allows you to teach robots to clean dishes or load dishwashers by navigating and moving among furniture, scattered toys on the floor, wrapped in corners of carpet, and so on. Facebook is confident that one day robots will be able to perform everyday tasks, and even if it takes years to teach them in the simulation. Japanese tech company SoftBank has dispelled rumors that production of the popular Pepper robot model will be discontinued. This part of the business remains unchanged, according to SoftBank spokesman Ai Kitamura. although the company admitted that the release of the new models of the robot have been temporarily suspended. Remember, we said in a previous news release that the company would cut 50% of its European division that makes Pepper and the Now robot. Heineken Brewing Company introduced a beer outdoor transporter, a branded standalone cooler that uses motion sensors. The robot with a fridge on board is capable of holding 12 cans of beverage and following its owner wherever they go. It has 6 wheels and a camera that uses artificial intelligence technology to assess the surrounding situation. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any new episodes from the world of high tech. The World Artificial Intelligence Exhibition in China, a robotic nurse, a robotic pizzeria, artificial skin, the latest military robots and drones, and the results of the Clover Code 4 quadcopter training raffle in one video. The World Artificial Intelligence Conference, World Artificial Intelligence Forum 2021, was inaugurated at the Shanghai Expo Center. As always, we have compiled for you the most interesting news from this event. Huawei presented its vision and technical documentation for the smart city. Just as the human nervous system detects and responds to changes in the body, a smart city built on Huawei's platform can recognize, process information, and make informed decisions that improve conditions for residents. To create the nervous system of smart cities, the latest information and communication technologies were used, combining cloud computing, the Internet of Things, big data, and artificial intelligence, which make it possible to implement solution analysis and with the provision of reports in real time. Artificial intelligence in a smart city must encompass perception of the city, decision-making, and execution and management. Huawei's Cloud Pangu model, one of the world's largest machine vision pre-learning models with 3 billion parameters, is a key part of the smart city. It's one of the top 10 super AI leader stars at the 2021 conference. Today, Huawei Cloud is already working on smart infrastructure in 10 cities across the country, including Shanghai. UBTech Robotics hosted the world premiere of a new version of its Walker X robot at the WAIC 2021, making it the largest commercially available humanoid robot in China. The robot can walk stairs and rough terrain, balance on one leg, massage with force control, play chess, and perform autonomous navigation with visual positioning. The Walker X is designed to be a voice-activated home assistant with 41 servo joints, multi-dimensional force perception, stereo vision, omnidirectional hearing, inertia, and other perception systems are listed as the main advantages of the new robot. The robot's planning and gait control technology has been updated for faster and more stable walking. The robot's maximum speed is now 3 kilometers an hour. As for intelligence, Walker X received an update as USLAM visual navigation technology to implement autonomous path planning, algorithms for object detection and recognition based on deep learning, algorithms for recognizing faces, gestures, and other objects in complex environments, and algorithms for accurate understanding and perception of the environment around it. The robot can autonomously control refrigerators, coffee machines, vacuum cleaners, and other household appliances. It can even serve tea and water and mimic emotions such as empathy. Robin Li Yanhong, chairman and CEO of Chinese giant Baidu, told the conference that Baidu plans to launch unmanned cars in about 30 cities across the country in the next 2 to 3 years. The company is also going to release a car that looks like a robot. The smart electric car branded Jidu Auto will see the light of day within 2 years and will embody the Chinese vision of cars of the future that will resemble robots because of the abundance of high-tech systems. In mid-June, Baidu introduced the Apollo moon drone with 5G support, one of the main advantages of which was the cost of 480,000 yuan, which is about $74,000. According to a company spokesperson, this is about a third of the amount required to produce an average car with a 4th-level autopilot. Over the next 3 years, the company plans to launch a cab service with Apollo Moon in major Chinese cities. The Chinese company SenseTime presented an AR Robobus, an autonomous minibus with augmented reality, at the SenseAuto Exhibition and drove it around for all comers. All the windows in the cabin are screens with augmented reality elements. The bus can independently drive and stop in fixed areas with fourth-level autonomous driving. It will be used in commercial zones and scenic areas of cities such as Wuhan and Lihang. The Quo Molo unmanned truck, which is used in Thailand and the Middle East, also caught the attention of visitors to the show. The Level 5 autonomous truck is equipped with a 360-degree sensor system, traffic monitoring, and traffic control systems. The company, which uses the uCloud artificial intelligence system, is looking for domestic and regional business opportunities. The Banma Network Technology, which develops an operating system for connected cars called Banma, unveiled a smart cab at the show. The system facilitates AR navigation, human interaction with the car, internet connectivity, and in-car services, and automates various car functions such as engine starting, car diagnostics, lighting, seat adjustments, and more. Leading the Chinese e-commerce platform Weituan has unveiled drones and unmanned cars of its own design for delivery automation. The company plans to deploy a pilot low-altitude drone logistics network in Shanghai as early as this year. The three-tiered drone network, ground-based support infrastructure, including landing ports and battery charging stations, as well as cloud-based dispatch systems, will aim to achieve a 15-minute delivery time for destinations within a 3-kilometer radius. As of June 2021, Meihua drones have completed more than 200,000 flight tests and delivered more than 2,500 orders. A digital currency payment system was also presented at the exhibition with the purpose of buying any good with a very simple and straightforward method. Also at the exhibition, there were robotic baristas pouring great coffee for visitors, robotic masseurs with force control, research robot dogs, commercial robots for home and business from Deep Robotics, which by the way we will shoot a live review soon, as well as many educational and home robots for children and adults. The total for 2020 in China were 1,149 registered artificial intelligence companies, as well as 104 educational programs at 38 different institutions across the country. And now for the rest of the news. Hong Kong recently unveiled a nurse robot based on the famous Sophia robot, and as early as next year, such humanoids will enter hospitals in Hong Kong, mainland China, Japan, and South Korea. The humanoid Grace will work with the elderly as well as patients who are in isolation. The robot will be able to take temperature, give tests, although it's not clear what type of tests yet. It will also be able to conduct therapeutic conversations and help medical workers. Scientists from Stanford University have printed an elastic artificial skin on a 3D printer. The development differs from all previous ones by the fact that 1 square centimeter of such a skin has more than 40,000 transistors, and their number will be significantly increased. As a result, the developers plan to create a skin for implantable bioelectronics and wearable sensors. The new process of creating flexible circuits made it possible to stretch the skin sample to half its original size in different directions without cracking or delaminating the transistors. The electronics have remained stable even after thousands of repeated stretches. The first pizzeria fully controlled by robots has opened in Paris. Pazzi's new pizzeria is fully staffed with robots that perform all kinds of work, from taking orders to making dough and packing pizzas into the box. The developers of the pizzeria say the whole process is very fast, and the robots guarantee a consistent quality of the product. The hardest part of the development was training the robots to work with live dough, while still understanding its variation and the degree of quality as well as readiness. Abundant Robotics, a company that develops harvesting systems, announced its closure. According to the founders, the robots never managed to attract enough attention in the marketplace needed to sustain and grow the business. On June 29, Abundant put up for sale all of its intellectual property and assets, which include a large number of patents for vacuum manipulation, a patented sensor system that allows vacuum to navigate obstacles, and a patented world-class vision system for identifying fruit and its quality, and several other patents for software and automated operations. NASA's Mars rover Perseverance has completed the first launch of its most powerful AutoNav navigation software system in the history of exploration of other planets. The distance between Mars and Earth makes it impossible to control the rover in real time. The new and improved system makes three-dimensional maps out of the terrain ahead, identifies hazards, and plans a route around any obstacles right as it moves, without additional guidance from any controllers back on Earth. This capability, combined with other improvements, could allow Perseverance to reach a top speed of 120 meters per hour, compared to the 20 meters per hour of its Curiosity predecessor. Engineers at the University of California, Berkeley have taught the four-legged robot Mini Cheetah to jump obstacles autonomously. The new route planner of the robot consists of two elements. One paves the route on foot on a straight line, and the second is responsible for calculating the trajectory of the jump over obstacles that are not yet very high. The Mini Cheetah is also equipped with a depth camera, which the robot creates 3D and 2D maps of the space in front of it. All a human needs to do is set the point where the robot needs to get to, and it calculates on its own the route, based on the height of objects below and above it. BMW DesignWorks has presented a concept of the gaming chair of the future, Rival Rig or RivalWorks AI. Among the advantages of the novelty are the design and style of a sports car in the first-class adaptive ergonomics, the presence of a built-in climate control, as well as artificial intelligence. In particular, algorithms control operation of the climate control system and control actuators responsible for comfortable seating of the user. The futuristic nature of the concept is upgraded by built-in RGB lighting. The British Ministry of Defence is investing $4.8 million in the Cooperative Strike Weapons Technology Demonstrator, or referred to as CSWTD, Defense Science Laboratory. It will develop new systems that allow missiles to interact with each other in flight. The latest smart weapon already collects data, assesses situations, and changes plans to achieve targets. To be effective, however, it must work as a team rather than waiting for a direct order from a human being. The goal of the new project is to investigate how to technically enable inter-missile communication and cooperative behavior for combat missions. South Korea's Hyundai Rotem supplied the National Army with two multi-purpose ground-wheeled robots for combat testing. The robots are powered with electricity and have 6x6 wheel configurations and weigh less than 2 tons. The vehicles reach speeds of up to 30 km per hour on the highway and up to 10 km per hour on rough terrain. At 5 km per hour, their batteries have enough charge for 6 hours of travel, and each robot can carry 600 kilograms of payload, as well as being armed with a remotely controlled combat module. By 2024, the robot should have mixed units of robots and humans. Ground robots in such units will conduct combat reconnaissance, carry ammunition and provisions, and perform other daily tasks. ProMobot is going to develop a full-size walking humanoid robot by 2035. This was announced by the founder and development director at ProMobot, Oleg Kivokurtsev. He noted, "At the moment it's too early to talk about the cost of such a robot." The American food delivery service Grubhub has agreed to cooperate with Yandex. Now dozens of Yandex Rover robots will be delivering lunches to 250 college and university campuses in the United States. The robots will start working in the fall as soon as students return to school after vacation. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any more of the world's high-tech news. The next achievements of the Robot Spot from Boston Dynamics: amphibious robots, amphibious drones, liquid chips in the brain, programming robots by artificial intelligence, and other high-tech news in today's one episode. Boston Dynamics unveiled Spot's choreographer software, a tool for creating and controlling movement through the Spot API. Now, to teach a robot to dance, you just need to know how to dance, not how to program. The choreographer controller understands Spot's robot physics and environment, controlling the robot's balance and only then trying to perform the desired movements. If the robot is asked to do something physically impossible, or if it encounters an environmental problem such as a slippery floor, Spot will find the available movement most similar to what was requested and perform it. Also thanks to a partnership between Boston Dynamics and Fluke Process Instruments, Spot's robot has taken an acoustic control to the next level. The company said in a tweet that Fluke's new SV600 fixed acoustic image scanner allows Spot to automate the detection of air and gas leaks and identify mechanical sound signatures. Deep Robotics has released a waterproof version of its four-legged protective Yu-Yang robot. The robot is designed for industrial tasks, although what kind of task is not yet specified. Deep Robotics is trying hard to keep up with the leading-edge robo-dog manufacturers and offering budget alternatives to their functionality. A team from Facebook AI, the University of California at Berkeley, and Carnegie Mellon University taught the robot to adapt to any surface it encounters, to any object it carries, no matter what condition it finds itself in. The Rapid Motor Adaptation System uses a combination of two control algorithms, a basic algorithm trained through reinforcement learning, and an adaptation module trained through supervised learning. As a result, the robot first analyzes its current state and the previous action at each moment of time, and calculates the next action based on all this data. And secondly, it tries to understand the properties of its environment by analyzing its actions for the last half a second and turning them into a vector encoding external conditions using a one-dimensional convolutional neural network. This vector, together with the states and actions of the last second half, is fed to the motion calculation module. After virtual training, the developers tested the system on a Chinese Unitree A1 robot dog, and the results were impressive. Sarcos Robotics showed how the Guardian XT robot can handle tree trimming in a park while a human is at a safe distance. The teleoperated robot duplicates the movements of an operator standing on the ground wearing a virtual reality helmet and motion capture suit. The robot's head has two cameras that form a stereo pair. The motion capture system compiles a real-time 3D body model using gyroscopes, accelerometers, and magnetometers, allowing for precise control of the robot. The Guardian's XT special feature is that its arm segments, eye spacing, and other dimensions are slightly larger than a human's, but proportional to them, so control is natural. Scientists from the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology have developed a soft, hydrogel-based brain implant. The device consists of a bundle of ultra-thin, multifunctional polymeric fibers, embedded in and surrounded by a polyacrylamide alginate hydrogel. Because the hydrogel is rigid in its initial dry state, it can be relatively easily inserted into the brain tissue without the use of any support and guidance devices. Once implanted, however, it absorbs body fluid and becomes very soft and pliable, just like the tissue that surrounds it. This means it is less likely to be perceived by the immune system as a foreign object. Engineers at Dexterous Robotics came up with the idea of teaching robots to manipulate objects without grippers or vacuum suction cups using oversized chopsticks. On the one hand, chopsticks could pick up anything. They could help the robot handle objects in different shapes, sizes, and densities without replacing attachments and equipment. On the other hand, it won't be easy to train a robot to do that. Let's keep an eye on the company's progress. In our opinion, they deserved the price for originality of the idea. The developers taught the Tencent robot different gait styles of four-legged animals. Training with reinforcement helped the robot learn different styles of movement in the simulation, from trotting to galloping. The robot's whole body control system used a low-level controller based on multi-solid body dynamics to calculate the desired torques for each joint, all while a high-level neural network policy planned the expected gait and fulcrum points. Engineers plan to present their results in the fall at the IROS 2021 Robotics Conference. Engineers from the ETH Zurich presented the Dipper, an air-to-water hybrid vehicle capable of controlling movement in the air and underwater. The lightweight UAV, with swiveling swept wings which provide a dynamic transition between the two environments, can reach speeds of 70 km per hour, fly 5 km, and dive into water from a height of 150 meters and swim for 10 minutes. The drone is equipped with a single engine and uses a special clutch system to engage either the front propeller for flight or the rear propeller for swimming. Festo plans to create a universal robot programming system using artificial intelligence. FlareOps project aims to develop an artificial intelligence system that could collect and merge data from multiple robotic warehouses and manufacturing facilities to train robots in a way that would not jeopardize the transfer of sensitive company data. By guaranteeing participant security, Vesto would be able to gather an array of data to quickly train any production robot for any task, tailored to each specific production. Potentially, this would speed up roboticization several times over. Walmart and Symbiotic are working together to bring a high-tech automation system to the retail chain. The system, tested at one of Walmart's distribution centers, will now be enhanced and scaled to 25 more of the company's regional locations. It is designed to improve the speed and accuracy of receiving shipments for future orders. The solution uses a dense, modular storage system that increases building capacity and robotic solutions for palletizing, organizing, and optimizing cargo shipments and other tasks. Airbus Space Engineers installed a European robotic arm on the Russian multipurpose laboratory module Nakua and is now ready to fly to the ISS. The robotic arm will serve the Russian segment of the space station. The symmetrical two-armed intelligent robotic arm, with a total length of more than 11 meters, can walk around the outside of the ISS from one fixed base point to another. ERA has several joints, lightweight limbs, and a controller computer in the middle of the arm. Astronauts can control the robotic arm in real time or with pre-programming from inside or outside the ISS to make it move payloads, inspect the space station with its infrared cameras, and support operations outside of the ISS. Chinese engineers also unveiled their robotic arm for the National Space Station. The space robotic arm is attached to the Tyne base module, the first and main component of the station. Details of the device and the functions of the arm are not yet known. Hyundai will launch the Robo Shuttle unmanned minibus in South Korea in early August. An autonomous version of the Hyundai H350 light minibus will walk a route of just over 6 kilometers and pick up passengers at 20 stops. It will be possible to call the Robo Shuttle through the application. Robo Shuttle is designed for 14 passengers and can reach speeds of about 160 kilometers per hour. At first, there will be a driver in the cabin. In China, a major e-commerce site JD.com has been delivering goods by robot for several months, according to the website drone.com. Large robots with 20 cells deliver goods so far over short distances from the company's distribution center in 8 Chinese cities. When the robot arrives, the customer receives a notification on their smartphone. To pick the goods up, it's necessary to dial a code on the delivery man's display, and after that, the box with the order inside opens up. Tesla announced the upcoming upgrade of the Tesla Supercharger network of fast charging stations. After it, the capacity of the charging stations will increase by 50 kilowatts to 300 kilowatts, which will allow to charge, for example, the Model 3 long range to run 120 kilometers in about 10 minutes. Most likely, this is not the limit for the Tesla, and the company will strive to increase the capacity of its charging stations to 350 kilowatts, like the most powerful Electrify America stations. The Pentagon's Lord of the Ghost Fleet program will get 2 more large robotic surface ships by the end of 2021. This will exactly double the total of the project, which aims to create a large robotic ships that could stay in the ocean for long periods of time and require no maintenance. One possible role for such of these ships would be to store munitions and deliver them to inhabited warships. Remember that the test of the Nomad surface robot, part of the program, was completed back in May. The ship was able to overcome about 8,000 kilometers while in autonomous mode. The U.S. Marines will receive a Hero 120 rocket launchers and bomber ammunition from the Israeli company U-Vision Air. It is known that the company contract provides for multi-year cooperation. The launch containers will be mounted on wheels and tracked combat vehicles, as well as on LRUSV long-range robotic vehicles. Hero 120 should be finalized for the US, but already now the range of these munitions is 40 kilometers and the flight time is about an hour. The devices are suitable for reconnaissance, defeat of tanks and other enemy equipment, destruction of concrete fortifications, and high-precision strikes on targets located in populated areas. A Slovako resident, the Russian company Sensor Tech Labs, has developed a new Elvis implant that helps blind people see. The system consists of a chip that is connected to the human brain and stimulates it with small current discharges, as well as 2 cameras that analyze what is happening around them. The picture from the camera is reduced to the size of 10 by 10 dots and transmitted in black and white to the brain. It won't allow you to see the details, but it will give general vision information and the idea of the contours of objects. The device, designed for those who have lost vision but could see before, that is, had a visual experience, has already been tested on volunteers. Subscribe to the Pro Robot channel, like this video, and don't miss any new releases from the world of high tech.